another episode of LeaderLINK, where we link members with mentors to learn, achieve, and succeed in all things FBLA. I'm Kayla Wijay-Sakra, and I have the pleasure of serving as your state parliamentarian this year. Joining me today is Irene Pan, your national parliamentarian. To start off, Irene, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your time in FBLA?
Yeah, well, hello everyone. Thank you, Kayla, for having me. Like she said, I'm Irene Pan, this year's national parliamentarian. Before that, I served as a section officer in California for the Southern section, and I also served as my local chapter president.
Yeah, that's great. We're going to get started with the questions. First, what made you passionate about parliamentary procedure?
So in my freshman is when I competed in Introduction to Parliamentary Procedure. But actually, the decision to compete in that event was influenced by me wanting to compete in a team event so that I could work with my friends. And unfortunately, that year we weren't able to all work together as a team due to schedule conflicts and things like that. But the following year, I was still drawn to the event just because I really wanted to work with a team of people and just something like a simple objective test need to say that objective tests are easy by no means. But for me, what really appealed about parliamentary procedure was that team aspect and getting to work with other people. So that year, my sophomore year, is when I competed in the parliamentary procedure event. And it was a lot of fun getting to work with my team and eventually going to nationals. And yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Next, what inspired you to run for national office?
Um, so I think this again going to the national conference. I'd liked parliamentary procedure for a while since again I did compete in the two events, and I saw I actually did pretty well, which surprised me a lot. That that kind of gave me more confidence to go further in parliamentary procedure. But also that year when I went to nationals, my freshman year in Atlanta, Georgia, I got to meet some of the national officers. One of the national officers was the Western Region Vice President, who actually went to my school and was our local chapter president. Him um inspire just so many people and be a leader on so many different levels, and be like a personal role model for me was also really inspiring. But another thing I think that really inspired me was that year's national parliamentarian, because she was also from California internationals. Thought that her position very it allowed you to inspire a lot of people through like teaching education, also teaching I guess hard work. Position is it takes a lot of time and effort to get into. But the parliamentarian position, you're forced to have, I guess, the grit to keep wanting to read through this long, long book and know it, know the ins and out of all the things like that. And I just thought that that kind of dedication, but also the leadership that you can have in that kind of position was really inspirational and really appealed to me.
Yeah, that's really inspiring how the Western Region Vice President went to your school. I didn't know that. That's cool. Next, what advice would you give to someone preparing to take the parliamentary procedures objective test?
Oh yeah. So I have known the previous two national parliamentarians. The first one was because she was from my state, and the second one was when I served on her council. And I think that their experiences were really different, but also kind of different from my own. And so I think that depending on who you talk to, they might give you different advice. Essentially, when I went into the test, I didn't think I would be as, I guess, nervous as I was. Um, but I guess the best thing to is just to I guess take a deep breath and know that you've studied a lot for this and now you can just give your best effort and yeah, and I think you'll probably end up doing a lot better than you originally thought you might have, because that's at least that's how it was in my situation. But while you're preparing to take the objective exam, I think that's something that really helps is understanding the concepts. This lose your attention, you might start to forget things you already read. So that might not be the best option for some. I think that what really helped is first reading the Robert's Rules and Brief book, which is like a shorter, condensed version that tells you about the general ideas and the concepts that you need to understand for parliamentary procedure. And I think it also gives you some examples of it being used. So what helped me also was because I was doing the competitive event the same year. So I actually got to practice doing the things that I learned with a team. And since I was performing other people in front of other people, they were also able to kind of give me feedback. I think another thing that is helpful have a mentor of some kind. This could mean reaching out to someone from the National Association of Parliamentarians. What really helped me was that because I'd been on the council before, I was in contact with Miss Donna Mitchell, who's the youth chair of the National Association of Parliamentarians. She's the chair of the youth committee there, and she was an offer to like watch my group perform like one time.
That's great.
Advice that she gave us, yes, the advice that she gave us from that time was pretty helpful. But otherwise, if you know someone from your school who's competed, um, I think things like that also would help a lot. And the final thing is really just to do a lot of practice tests. I think I found as many practice as I could. There's some on the NAP website. I think I just like went through all of them, and if you're kind of running low on time, you can't like go do all of them. I think something that helps is just like looking at the answer key with the question and just reasoning in your head like why this one is the correct answer.
Yeah, that's great. How is your experience at NLC different this year compared to the past, considering that you were a candidate this year?
Oh, I think it was a lot more nerve-wracking. That was really the only thing for me because I didn't have to run in like campaign booth or anything like that. Um, but I think being in an appointed office or an elected office, what came on after talking to the national officers this year, was we were all super nervous after the test or like after we had finished campaigning. It wasn't really during like campaigning or like well, for me, it was a little different because I was really nervous leading up to the event, but we were most nervous after the like I guess the votes were in or like our test scores were in, and we really couldn't change anything at that point, but we didn't know like our result, and I think that was what made us really really nervous. And so I think even though we were with everything and we should have had like this sigh of relief, I feel like we were just really nervous then. But I mean, I still think that the best thing is just making having the best time that you possibly can. Did go to like hang out with my friends and things like that. So even though I was a little bit more nervous, I still really enjoyed NLC this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my position was also appointed, so I kind of understand what you mean about, like, after the votes close, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what is your favorite part about serving on national office?
Wow. There's a lot of great things about serving on national office. And I think like if you're thinking about maybe like running in the future, I think you definitely should, even if you think like, oh, I don't know, that might be a little scary or things like that. I think it's so worth it, and I think you definitely should if you're considering it. Um, but essentially, my favorite part about it, hmm, I think in addition to just all the travel and uh all the free merchandise that you get, um,
Yeah.
I think the best thing is really getting to just meet a lot of people, especially the other national officers. Because I think being in an environment where everyone is so hardworking and also great leaders in their own community really inspires you to work harder and also kind of take in their leaders' different styles and enhance your own.
Yeah, definitely. What council initiatives are you most excited about and why?
Ooh, so we have a lot of different things coming up, like our Parley Pro Roundtable for the National Parliamentarians Council, which is coming up on December 14th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can sign up for that in our Zoom bio, in our Linktree bio. Um, but I think something I'm really excited about is how we're revamping Motion Monday. Um, Last year it was like a post with just information on it and things like that, which I put a lot of time into making as a media director, but I just don't think it was as engaging as it could have been. And so this year, what we'll be doing is instead making a video and demonstrating to people. Because, like I mentioned, what really helped me when I was running for parliamentarian office was perform on like different videos, past videos of champions and things like that. So I think having that resource directly on our account will be really helpful to a lot of people, and we also try to make it as engaging as possible. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's gonna be super fun and cool. What are you most excited about for next year's NLC?
Okay, so next year's NLC is actually in Anaheim, as we all know. And since I am from Southern California, Anaheim's like just in my backyard. And so I'm really excited to kind of be like having NLC come back to California where I am at. And I think that there's just so many things for people to explore, and I think people have a lot of fun. And I think it would make me really happy as a national officer to just see all the different members having so much fun at NLC and experience like this event that we've been planning and like working so hard for.
Yeah, definitely. Lastly, our last question for fun, what is your favorite holiday and why?
Okay, I think this comes kind of close between a couple, but since we are entering like the winter season, I think my favorite holiday right now is probably going to be Christmas. Just think that the festivities and everything is so nice, and I love going outside and just seeing all the different holiday lights that people can put up.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you so much, Irene, for joining me for this interview. Washington, we can't wait to see you next time on LeaderLink. Make sure to follow at WAFBLA on Instagram to stay connected for all of our segments. Thanks for watching.